September 11th, 2001, a day we, as Americans, will look back on with a somber familiarity and a sense of loss and reflection for the rest of our lives. But what does it mean to truly reflect? Since the opening of the National 9/11 Memorial in September 2011, millions have visited the site in the hopes of commemorating the terrorist attack, which left thousands dead and even more left to mourn. I visited the memorial in hopes of better understanding the ideas set out by architect Michael Arad, and instantly connected to the elements which make up the site. I appreciated the simplistic design encircled by the iconic New York skyline. Yet, I wondered why I looked down at the name of each victim and saw myself. Maya Lin's design of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, completed in 1982 in Washington, D.C., established a new era of monumental elements that have been replicated in many monuments in our society today. Specifically, the World Trade Center Memorial, situated in downtown New York City at the original site of the towers, mimics the idea of reflection that is seen in the walls of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. Although designer Michael Arad intended that this idea of reflection be a positive aspect of the World Trade Center site, the idea of reflection seen in monuments today is a failure because of its ambiguity as well as the cultural significance and selfishness that is associated with mirrors and reflections in modern society. Generally defined, reflection is the production of an image from a surface such as water or a mirror. This idea has remained significant throughout history because of the importance that society continues to place upon appearance. Although relevant, this idea of appearance has acquired a negative connotation over time because it promotes selfishness, superficiality, and vanity in humankind. The famous painting Rokeby Venus, done by Diego Velázquez from 1647 to 1651, depicts the goddess of love, Venus, who was the most gorgeous. Venus's son Cupid is holding up a mirror into which the goddess stares at her reflection. This shows that in as early as the 17th century, artwork and media were highlighting these ideas of appearance and narcissism. Yet, with the creation of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in the 1980s, this idea became a significant element in many monuments that followed. It can be assumed that Maya Lin's intentions were that visitors look beyond their mirrored reflection and rather use it to contemplate the lives lost in war, as seen in the painting Reflections by Lee Teeter. Seeing one's own reflection distracts from the names of the lost soldiers, which are etched carefully into the walls of the memorial. It can also be assumed that Michael Arad had positive intentions for the reflection in the 9/11 Memorial. Yet, like in the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, negative aspects can also be seen. Like many New Yorkers, Arad will never forget the somber September day when the towers fell, but he will also never forget the sense of community and courage which came in its wake. When the design competition opened in 2003, he already had preliminary designs he had created in the weeks following the attacks. Pulling from inspiration he found in memorial services throughout the city and Maya Lin's Vietnam Memorial, Arad perfected his designs and entered the competition. Little did he know he would be chosen out of thousands to commemorate the biggest American tragedy in the 21st century. Although the scale of the attacks was widespread, his design was simple. Located at Ground Zero, the design, appropriately named Reflecting Absence, consists of two waterfalls cascading into pools of water situated in the footprints of the two towers. Around the rim of these pools, the names of the 2,982 victims are etched into black reflective stone where they can be visited by family, friends, and bystanders. As Arad later noted, the names are placed in meaningful adjacencies to give relatives of victims the personal feel they desired. Furthermore, advancements in technology have increased ideas of appearance through photography and the phenomenon known as the selfie. In modern society, the selfie has become a chief example of vanity, and with the popularity of apps like Snapchat and Instagram, many people find themselves taking multiple selfies a day. People must remember, however, that it is not appropriate to take selfies at any time in any place. Nancy Nee, who lost her firefighter brother George Kane in the attacks, once stated, "Some people forget this is a cemetery. I would never go to the Holocaust Museum and take a selfie." It is important to keep ideas like this in mind in sacred places like the World Trade Center Memorial. As Arad once said, "I think I was actually trying to create a moment of silence, a moment for quiet introspection, and what people do with that opportunity or that moment of inner thought is really up to them." I do believe that with his design of the 9/11 Memorial, Arad achieved his goal. However, being able to see your own reflection while you stare at the victims' names gives the memorial a selfish feel that takes away from the original design and portrays negative ideas of appearance in society today, making the idea of reflection an overall failure.